What's poppin', Who Dat Nation? Today we're going to be talking about overreactions from the Week 4 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. But before we get into that, we're in a sub battle with the Seahawks Today channel. We're taking on the Seahawks this weekend in NFL Week 5. So we got to beat them in subs this week. We're both starting at 0. Whoever gets the most subs this week wins. And I can promise you this, if we win come game day, if we beat the Seahawks Today channel in subs, your boy Trizzy Trace is starting off the show with a beer bong. So let's get it going. Hit that sub button, and let's get this party started. What's happening, Who Dat Nation? It's your boy Trizzy Trace, and as I said earlier, we're going to be getting into some overreactions after the loss to the Minnesota Vikings during NFL Week 4. First thing, overreaction 1, start Andy Dalton. Jameis Winston, I love you. I love you as my quarterback. You are my quarterback 1. You are great. You are fantastic. Your workout regime is fun. I like to say you're the GOAT, and I like to joke around how he's the greatest quarterback of all time, but this is an overreaction. Start Andy Dalton now. Don't let Jameis Winston get back on the field for a few weeks. If you ask me, look at these stats. Jameis Winston Week 3 versus Andy Dalton in Week 4. Obviously, they're playing a little bit different defenses, playing in a little bit different situations. The game plan is obviously different for Andy Dalton versus Jameis Winston. But, I mean, look at this. Look at the numbers. If you ask me, numbers don't lie, neither do your eyes. But I'm going to go ahead and say the numbers and my eyes are going to be leaning towards Andy Dalton on this one. I mean, 20 for 28, that's compared to 25 for 41. 236 yards compared to 353. 8.4 average versus 8.6. I mean, like, that's not that much drastically different, guys. That's not terrible. And 1 touchdown for both of them compared to 2 touchdowns for Jameis, 0 for Andy Dalton. And if you ask me, that's because Jameis Winston loves to air the ball out downfield. He loves to take that deep shot and stuff. Andy Dalton is a little bit more conservative, and he plays a little bit of a smarter, more organized way of quarterback managing the offense and hitting those check down guys a little bit more often. But guys, what more could you expect out of your QB2? What more could you want out of him? I mean, he played phenomenal. He had a touchdown and no interceptions and for 20 for 28. I mean, that's great numbers. If you ask me, even if there are even like minuscule, like the most slight issues, the slightest concerns, like teeny tiny, I'm not kidding, teeny tiny guys, I think Andy Dalton should get the start. I love Jameis Winston, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This team is built around Jameis Winston. This team and this offense are built to have Jameis Winston succeed, and they are built to play towards Jameis Winston's strengths. But I really like what I saw from Andy Dalton. He's a damn good QB2, and I think that if Winston has even the slightest injury concerns or anything like that, I think it's worth starting Andy Dalton. And during the Saints press conference today, Dennis Allen said the first thing that they need to do is to find out exactly where Jameis Winston is health-wise before they make any decisions. It doesn't necessarily mean that Andy Dalton's going to start, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's not. I think, Dennis Allen could have taken that time to, clarify some space, said, hey, Andy Dalton's our guy this week. Hey, the plan is get Jameis healthy. If he's not ready to go, we'll start Andy Dalton kind of thing. But he didn't. I think it's worth noting. But I want to get your guys' gauge. I want to ask y'all this. Who do you think should be QB1 this week? You guys think it should be Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton? If you think it should be J-Bo, type JW. If you think it's the Red Rifle, type AW. Let me know down in the comment section. And it's the ad break. So when you guys get it's the ad break pinned comment. So whenever you guys get hit with this YouTube ad break, take advantage of it. Go down, scroll down. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Overreaction number 2. Chris Olave was worth every single penny and every single aspect and every single asset that we gave up in order to get him during the draft. And I think Chris Olave continues to impress, guys. He is a freaking monster. 4 receptions, 67 yards, 16.8 average, and a touchdown. I mean, this guy's a rookie. This guy is in a loaded wide receiver room playing a damn good job. He's doing a phenomenal job. He is that dude. He is currently ranked number 8 in receiving yards across the NFL, and that is tight ends, running backs, receivers. And we have the list of guys who he is behind, and it's a pretty dang good list if you ask me. You got Tyreek Hill as your first one, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton, Marquise Brown, and then at number 8, Chris Olave. And if you ask me, guys, that is a dang good company to be in. This kid is a rookie. This kid is proving to be everything that the Saints were wanting and then some. in the draft. He is showing that he can get the ball. He's showing that he can catch the ball and be dangerous with it in space. He's showing that he knows how to find those open routes and those open seams and those open areas while running routes. It's just a matter of having the quarterback get him to the ball. So, guys, I want you guys to sound off, drop a like on this video, hit the thumbs up icon, like this video if you love Chris Olave, if you've been blown away, if you've been impressed with what he's been able to do this year, go down, drop a like, and if you want a shout out on the next video, after you like it, type me. And if you're subscribed, I can promise you will get a shout out in the next video. But we have some shout outs to give from last week. These guys are from last video. Leroy Wells, Said Muddy Wump, and Emmanuel Coates. They all typed 12 last video for Chris Olave because they were really excited and they've been really happy with what he's been able to do. So, guys, if you want to get a shout out, drop a like on this video, comment me, be sure to subscribe, and I got you in the next video. Overreaction number 3. If you ask me, Dennis Allen is on really thin ice. And last week, my overreaction was that his seat is starting to warm up. And guys, it didn't get any better this week. It really didn't. I love what I saw Dennis Allen being able to have some confidence in Will Lutz and going for 2 60-plus yard field goals in the last 2 minutes. I loved seeing what he was able to do. I think Dennis Allen could find himself on the hot seat if he does not get things turned around very quickly. The Saints are 1-4 going into week 5. That is unreasonable, that is unfathomable, and that is absolutely absurd. That is not New Orleans Saints football. And if you ask me, Dennis Allen is a dang good coach, and I love what I've seen about him, or I love what I saw from him in the offseason, but the more time goes on, the more I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe he's just a coordinator. I mean, we all know how his stint with the Raiders went, guys. I'm not trying to say that that's going to be the case, and I really, really hope it's not, because I love Dennis Allen. I want to see this team succeed. I love this team. I bleed black and gold, but at the end of the day, I want to see the team that I cheer for and the team that I root on win games. And Dennis Allen right now is not doing that. Here's what he had to say after the 1-3 start. He said, "I think we have a good group of guys in that locker room. We have some good veteran leadership, and we'll bounce back from this. We certainly need to play better, and we certainly need to turn some things around. It's a long season, and there's a lot of season left. We're going to keep battling, and we're going to keep fighting." So I want to ask you this. Do you miss Sean Payton? Because honestly, I'm not quite at a full M. Like if this is the M, I'm like kind of halfway. Like I'm starting to miss him. I don't full on miss him yet, but I mean every week it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more. I wish we saw Dennis Allen. I will say this. I forgot to mention this earlier. I wish we saw Dennis Allen kind of go to bat for some of these, or not kind of. Do go to bat for these guys and do go to bat for the team that he is coaching, because the officiating, let's be real. The officiating was atrocious in that second half of the Vikings-Saints game. There were so many terrible calls. There's so many terrible things that happened. There was I'm not going to get into it because I'm about to, but let me know if you guys miss Sean Payton or not. Type infamous, type D for done. I'm probably going to type my infamous right now. Overreaction number 4. Honey Badger is locked in. This guy is ready to go. And if you want to be locked in like the Honey Badger, go get yourself a Tyrann Mathieu jersey at chatsports.com/honeybadger. I mean, I got mine a few weeks ago. I ordered it right whenever he announced that his jersey was coming in. I got it literally the second they dropped. They were the 00s. They just came in. I've been wearing my jersey around the office. I've been wearing it around Dallas area where we're located and headquartered here at Chat Sports. I've been wearing it around with all my friends. I love repping the Honey Badger. And if you guys want to rep the Honey Badger as well, use the link below, chatsports.com/honeybadger to get your Tyrann Mathieu jersey. So I want to just say congratulations to the Honey Badger. Tyrann Mathieu, hats off to you, my friend. Thank you and congratulations on your first interception, and here's to many more. I mean, look at this picture, guys. This is what the Saints were looking for when they signed him this offseason. When the Saints signed Tyrann Mathieu, they were looking for plays like this, they were looking for leadership like this, and they were looking for swagger and some fun and energy, and that's what Tyrann Mathieu's bringing, because let's not forget, he is filling in that veteran safety role that Malcolm Jenkins was last year before he retired. Here's my, I promised you a rant about the penalties, and here it is. It was absolute BS. Guys, I'm not going to say it, Seaman, because I'm trying to host another video later, but it was BS. The hands to the face call against Tyrann Mathieu was softer than Charmin. That was Charmin ultra soft. It was ridiculous. I have no idea how in the NFL, like, that is a penalty, because it really wasn't. There was minimal to no contact. It was just soft as hell. I hated seeing it. I'm livid about it. I wish Dennis Allen would have said something and would have gone off because, man, take the penalty, take the fine, but go to bat for your players and go to bat for your team. I would have loved to see him go after the refs after this terrible call. But Tyrann Mathieu, doesn't matter. He continues to be a beast. He continues to be a dog for the Saints defense. Look at his stats this year. 21 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, an interception, and a fumble recovery. He's doing a damn good job this season, guys. He has 2 turnovers. He's doing a lot. He's proving to be an asset on this defense. The defense is very loaded. The defense is talented, especially in that secondary position. The Saints lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson in a trade right before NFL Week 1, which really hurts the secondary. But Tyrann Mathieu is taking it upon himself to be a leader, to be the voice on that defense, and to take the initiative alongside Demario Davis, Marcus May, Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo, Bradley Roby, all of these guys. They're taking it upon themselves to really lock in and load up this Saints defense and make it the strong suit of this team. Because we all know it. The defense isn't the issue, it's the offense. This has not been Saints football in the sense of there have been way too many penalties. There have been way too many turnovers. There have been way too many issues. There's so many injury concerns, which is, I guess, typical Saints football, if you ask me, but whatever. But this hasn't been Saints football. It's been sloppy. It's been disgusting. It's been ridiculous. But here's the thing. I'm not going to waver. One thing about me, Who Dat Nation, Jersey Trace does not waver. I believe in my team. I believe in the team that I've been cheering on for over 10 years. I believe in the team that I will continue to cheer on despite good, bad, or ugly because there's still plenty of football left. And here's what Tyrann Mathieu had to say about this Week 4 loss. He said, I think that there's a lot of positives we could take away from it. It's just like Week 17 of a 17-week bout. And I think that's a great way of putting it. I think that this is a phenomenal way of describing it. I'm honestly convinced that this is a Black Mirror episode because of how much nonsense is going on. Because let's not forget how much hype there was going into the season. There was expectations of not only could they win the NFC South, but they could win the NFC as a whole. The NFC is not a talented division or a talented conference this year. All the talent, it seems to be over in the AFC. There was a lot of implications that were saying maybe the Saints could make a run. Maybe the Saints could be the dark horse team that kind of comes up, sneaks away with it, and makes things happen. And it's just extremely frustrating that that's the case and that we haven't been able to see it. But before we get into my last overreaction, I want to ask this one question. Who you got in NFL Week 5? Is it going to be the New Orleans Saints or the Seattle Seahawks? Type NO for Saints, type SEA for Seahawks. While you're also down there, let me get your score predictions as well. And before we go to this intro video, Seatman, I want to just put out one thing. My last overreaction, this might be the sloppiest team in the NFL. It truly might be. With the amount of penalties, listen to this, guys. New Orleans leads the NFL in penalties with 34. They also lead the NFL in giveaways with 11. The Saints football has been a joke. It's been atrocious. That has been a sloppy few weeks of football. There's really only been one great quarter of football played this year. This past week against the Vikings, I would argue a couple of those were all right, but they haven't played a complete game, which is absurd to me. So one more time, I want to get your gauge on this. Who you got in NFL Week 5? You got the Saints or do you got those frauds, the Seahawks? I mean, if you ask me, I'm taking the Saints. It's a bounce-back game. It's a must-win. This right here is the last chance for the Saints to get back and get right before they go on a stretch of the Bengals, Cardinals, Raiders, who kind of suck, the Ravens, and the Steelers. And, Steelers maybe with Mitch Trubisky, maybe with Kenny Pickett, I don't know. But if you ask me, this team has way too much swagger, way too much charisma, way too much fun, and way too much talent to be doing this bad this season. This is the get-right game for the Saints. I thought it was going to be against the Vikings, but I know for a fact it's going to be this week. The Saints have to capitalize here. Let me know who you got in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe so we can beat those idiots over at Seahawks Today, and your boy can take a beer bong.